Amnam lahavin inyan amroi b'tselem alekim. The fact that to help us understand why a human is called a tselem alekim, daika v'loi shem acher. We could have been a shem shakai, tselem shakai, tselem Hashem, tselem yudke vavke, tselem who knows what, tselem anavakoyach. Could have been a lot of things. Why are we tselem alekim, daika v'loi shem acher? Kishem Elokim Yadua Perushai, because we know what Elokim means. Shumar Shui Yisparach Shmai Bal HaKoichais Kulam K'moshe Mavayar B'Torah Chaim Siman Hey, that every Shem Hashem has a different meaning and a different gilui of the Ribbon Shalom, and Elokim refers to the aspect of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which says that he's a Baal HaKoichos Kulam. Now, I explained on Sunday that Baal HaKoichos Kulam has, that we know of, three pshatim, and I believe that Reb Chaim Volozhin is going with the third pshat, which is the emes pshat. Baal HaKoichos Kulam can mean Baal HaKoichos Kulam. He could do anything, which is of course true. He could do anything. God wants to split the sea, split the sea. He wants us to be rich, will be rich. He wants us to be poor. Everything that happens in the Sana Toikev Kedushas Hayoim, Miyichya Miyamus, Hakol B'Yad Hashem, he's the Kol Yachol. That's the simple pshat. Baal HaKoichos Kulam. When you learn Shulchan Aruch, that's the simple pshat. The Mefarshim say that it's something different than that. Of course, he could do everything, but that's not what Shem Elokim means. The Shem Elokim in saying that he's the Baal HaKoichos Kulam means that he's a Bailam on the Koichos. There are Koichos in this world. There's Koichos. There's a Koich of gravity, there's a Koich of thinking, there's Koichos in this world. Who owns those Koichos and who's in charge of those Koichos? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when we talk about Elokim, we're talking about a Bailus. A Baal HaKoichos Kulam. Not that he could do anything. That's Mamela that he could do everything. But the point is that there is no Koich in the world which is not HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a different Havana. Well, think one day, what's the nafkamina in it? But Yesh. He's the Bailam of the Koichos. Meaning, it's not that there's a Koich in this world and if Hashem wants to, he can change it. He's the Bailam of that Koich. It's not just he can change it. He's the Bailam of Koich. He can do whatever he wants. He's the Baal Koich. Balabas. The Balabas. The third pshat is the pshat of the Zohar, and it explains in the very first pasuk of the Torah, Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es haaretz. And that's that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, so he used the Shem Elokim. In creating the world, I'm not sure what the alternative was. I'm not privy to that information. I don't think anybody is. But he used the Shem Elokim, meaning that everything that's created in the world is Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'saaretz. There's other things which are maybe higher or less understandable. But what we can understand is that there's a Koach Elokim in the entire world. There's a Koach Elokim within us. There's a Koach Elokim in the table, in the water, in the furniture, in the sun, and the moon. There's Koach Elokim. So it's not that he can do whatever he wants. The Baal HaKoichos Kulam means that the Elokim, Bereshis bara Elokim, is that he is everything. Malay kol haaretz k'voday. It's not that he can do whatever he wants. He is everything. Or at least Elokim is everything. Elokim, the word means strong. Elokim, the Zohar says, could mean Kodesh, and Elokim could mean Chol. Yavi adavar el Elohim. Ki chamocha kefaro. Talks about Paro as being Elohim. It could be an avodah zarah, lehi b'acherim. So what it means is a very strong thing. But the what we're saying over here is that the koach, that which is in the bria, the whole bria, as we know it, was created with the Shem Elokim, and it is Elokim. So this is the beginning of understanding. That's not the end. It's the beginning of understanding Tzimtzum. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu has actually put himself into the Bria. There's godliness in the Bria.
He is in everything, or he is
Elokim is in everything. That's what desire says. That's what desire says. This is before you get to Balatanyos, before you get to Gra, before you get to anything. It's Breishis Bar Elokim V'Sashavai V'Sars. I want to explain it a little bit. Lefi Hasagasegu. But that's the third shot. According to that third shot, which is the most the one we would prefer not to go with because it makes it very complicated. Why would we want to go with that shot? The guy can do whatever he wants to do. That's good. Balakay. No, but Balakay is cool. But it says in the Shulchan Aruch, the teaches that Hashem it changes everything. Hashem is here. Hashem is there. Hashem is everywhere. Everything is the Koyach Halikus.
Where do we see the word Baal?
Why is it Baal?
Yeah.
Baal
usually is distinct from whatever.
Right, because Elokim, correct, because Elokim is here, and then all the other Shemus are here. I'll explain. But the Baal Elokim, I'm going to manifest myself in as Elokim. Pnei Elokim. Like, this is the manifestation. I'll explain. So, but first, let's see what he says, which seems like a Pashta Mashal, and then we could understand what he means. Indian Mashu Yisbarach Nikra Balakay. Don't forget the context here. The context is that therefore, when word Selam Elokim, meaning we are the ultimate manifestation of godliness. We're godly. That's what it means. We're like godly, like little gods. In a Bechina, we can't create the world, but we can do something. That's the thesis of this whole sefer. We can do something because we have this Shem Elokim within us. Maybe it's the neshama, maybe something else, but we have this Shem Elokim within us, and that Elokim allows us to, and we have the Tselem Elokim, you can even see it on us. So being that we have that, it gives us a tremendous koch. Al ha-kochos kulam.
But it's more of a potential, it's something we have to realize, or
Well, there's Bechira.
Because let's say somebody who's a complete Russia,
Also Tselem Elokim, but he messes it up.
What about a table? A table is also an Elokim.
It's Elokim, but not Tselem Elokim.
So
Tselem means not only is it the koach of Elokim, which the table is, but there's a tselem Elokim, it actually reflects. Tselem means like a sail. Sail actually reflects. Or tselem Elokim. V'inyan mashu nikra bala koichos, and here he explains. Ki loy kemidas basar v'dam midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ki adam kishabayna binyan derech mashal li'etz. A person creates something from wood. Eina boinem boyer Monsey azmi koicha eitz. You're not making the wooden house, really. You're organizing a house out of wood.
Assembling.
IKEA. Out of the box. V'acher shekvar sidram lefi retzaynai. Im shekoicha huser v'nistalik mem im kol zeh habinyin kayim. V'haraya. That he's not, like a person says, I put my whole heart into that building. It's a figure of speech, because if he dies, then the building should then collapse, because his heart's in the building. Or if he knocked the building down, he should die. So he's not really connected to the building. That's Basar V'Dam. He's not really. He put his soul into the building. His heart and soul. But it's not really true. He organized, he assembled the building.
with a parent-child.
Maybe more so.
Probably.
va-Vohu Yisbarach Shmai, the mashal, which sounds so simplistic, and then you see like, wow, this is not simple at all. va-Vohu Yisbarach Shmai, Kamai Beis Brias Hailamais Kulam, when he created the worlds, Bra'am v'himsiyam hu Yisbarach Yesh Me'ayin. He created the whole world, all the worlds, Yesh Me'ayin, something from nothing. B'koichai habilti tachlis, with his unlimited, infinite koach. Kain me'oz So kol yoim v'chol rega mamish kol koyach mitziyusam v'sidram v'kiyumam. The very fact that things are standing, totally rak b'mashu yisbarach shmai mashpia behem b'rtzoni yisbarach kol rega. So when we talk about Baal HaKochos Kulam, we're talking about the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is so intrinsically involved with this table that if he would be meser his koach from the table, chas v'shalom, then the table would what?
Disappear.
What?
Or disappear. Like collapse.
Collapse or disappear?
Disappear.
Cease to exist.
Cease to exist.
Cease to exist.
Which one is it? Evaporate.
No, I'm asking a good question.
No, that's what I want to know. Which one is it?
Which one is it?
Was it cut off from the water?
Would the wood still be there but but not be able to hold a cup? Or would it evaporate? If it turns to iron.
Wait,
It depends on
what happens.
Whatever that is.
It depends.
It turns to iron. Totally rak mashi yisbarach shmei mashpia behem b'rtzayna yisbarach kol rega. By the way, this question is the sugya. It's not a side point. This is the sugya, and I'll explain to you why. But let's get the words. Totally rak b'mashu yisbarach shmei mashpia behem b'rtzayna yisbarach kol rega. Koyach v'shifas or chodosh. V'ilu hayehu yisbarach mesalik mehem koyach hashpa'asai. If Hashem would remove koach hashpa'asai, which we're calling al pi hazayar Elokim, af rega achas, even for 1 second, karega hayakulam, here's a new word, efes v'tohu. Doesn't tell us very much. Becomes zero, and tohu, chaos,
No.
hmm?
No.
null, void. Sounds like my checks. Efes v'tohu. Like,
Bottomless?
bottomless? Ukamoi shiyasto anshe knesses hagdola, like the anshe knesses hagdola so beautifully wrote. B'birchas yoitzer or hamachadesh betuvai b'chol yoim tamid ma'aseh bereshis. This is not a pasuk. This is the anshe knesses hagdola, which typed up that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is constantly creating and renewing the world. Meaning that, and I explained as follows on Sunday, that if something is created from something, so now something is created from something, it's simply assembled, as you say, so you walk away from it, it's been assembled, the something is there. If something is created from nothing, so it means to say that what's the ingredients of that something?
Creator.
Nothing.
No.
Right? Yesh me'ayin. So really, what's the raw materials? If you look under a spiritual microscope at this table, what's the raw material? Nothing. So if something is created from nothing, so how does that happen? That needs Hashem to hold it in His hands the entire time. In other words, it's not something that can stand. If something is created from something, so you walk away to something is there. Why? Because the raw material is there. But if something is created from nothing, so now if you walk away, you'll have nothing. Once you have no something, you'll have nothing. And that miracle, something from nothing, requires HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yes? Nobody else can make something from nothing. Nobody. Not mad scientists, not alchemists, not physicists. Nobody can create something from nothing. Can't do it. We can make permutations. But you have to start. I mean, right? This is the problem with evolution. We could have come from who knows what, but how do you get to the point of something from nothing? Let it be an atom. But how do you get from something from nothing to something? This nobody's been able to explain. Okay, there was a big bang. A big bang of what?
Even all the miracles of the Torah from something.
Something.
Oil pours.
Water splits.
Dust.
Right, but it's not ex nihilo. So to get something from nothing, for that, the only one who's been able to pull that off is God. There is no something from nothing. Almost from nothing, microscopic to something, all kinds of things. You could create test tube babies, but you still need something to create nothing. Nothing. I mean, you need something to create something. You can't create something from nothing. Poof, can't do it.
I thought the point is that we can also through deed work.
Well, that's something, though. But let's leave us out of this for a second. I want to talk about God today. No, because that's an obvious extension. What does all this mean for us Tzelem Elokims here? This is, by the way, like consider this a meeting. Consider this a meeting of understanding our jobs. Here's the company, world. Here's our job. Understand the boss. Understand what we can do. There's Elokim. There's Tzelem Elokim. Now, what I want to explain right now to make this a little bit easier, not that it's easier because I'm explaining something I don't even understand, but just at least the cheshvan. Easier is I want to explain that Elokim is already very close to us. It's already in the world. Like Elokim, everybody knows is Gematria Hateva. Bereshis bar Elokim, Gematria Hateva. We're already talking about something worldly. It would be kfira to say that we're the Tzelem Shakai or the Tzelem Yudke Vavke or the Tzelem anything else, because Elokim is already something which is graspable. So, see, the Torah says as follows. Pasuk we all know by heart. Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim ve'es haaretz. Right? That's how far almost everybody got in Maver Sedra. Bereshis bara Elokim, bara. Keep in mind that in the Oilamus there's Atzilus, and that's after Atzilus is what? Bria. So we're already way down. Why do I say way down? Just one down. Because infinity is already Atzilus up. We're already talking about things that touch and feel world. Bria. Bereshis bara, when we're talking about the Bria, Elokim es hashamayim es haaretz. V'haaretz haisasayhu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei tahaim. V'ruach Elokim rachefes al pnei hamayim. Vayomer Elokim yihi or. Vayihi or. So there was a Metzias of Tohu va-Vohu, and not insignificant v'choshech al pnei tahom. What's a tahom? What's the shorish of the word tahom? Tohu. It's redundant. There was a big tohu, and the big tohu is called tahom. What is it? Enli musag. But this is before the Bria.
No, right?
From this came the Bria. So the first step, if you will, of the Bria is Tohu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei tahom. Whatever that is, imagine it. Think of it as darkness and chaos.
But those were creations.
L'chara bereshis bara Elokim. So the Gemara says like this. Let me just bring you a proof to what you're saying. The Gemara says, "V'asar ma'morais Mishnah, v'asar ma'morais nivras ha'olam," that the world was created with 10 Vayomer Hashem, Vayomer Hashem, Vayomer Elokim, Elokim, Vayomer Elokim. So for the Gemara, that why do you say v'asar ma'morais? There's only 9. Count. The answer is what? Bereshis nami ma'meru. So the Bereshis nami ma'meru, because this pasuk here that we just learned, pasuk Beis, is already part of the Bria, right? Darn? That's already part of the Bria. So Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'es haaretz. V'haaretz, step 1, haisasayhu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei tahaim. Episa given. There was something. What, this is not yet nothing. This is now what?
It's not yet nothing. It's not longer nothing.
We're not going that far back here in the Chumash to talk about nothing.
It's not nothing anymore. Now it's nothing. Right?
Something was already created. Meaning,
Hashem created nothing.
like your wife takes a bunch of ingredients and makes a big dough, and then afterwards she and your kids come and make beautiful cookies out of it, and make beautiful challahs out of it, and braid it, al pi Kabbalah, kol minei dvarim. You can do all kinds of things, but look, tohu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei tehom. Hirsch writes, confusion, chaos. Everything's all mixed up.
Which was the creation?
The beginning of creation. Bereshis nami maimerhu. The raw material of creation.
That's the raw material.
This is the first, let's put it in terms that we're using here, the first yesh. Where's the ayin in the pasuk? In the preface. It's not here. Because the Torah we can understand.
It was a Tohu.
No, that was created.
No, we said that yesterday. We said that on Sunday, so let's leave that, if that's true.
But are we saying
It could be. It could be. That's what ayin means. But it's not nothing. Maybe ayin doesn't mean nothing.
But obviously, this is all in relation to this earth, this world that we're living in now. Before Bereshis, let's say minus zero.
And the earlier.
there was something there. We don't know what it was.
If you want to call it something. But
Something. But
it has to be because God is infinite.
right.
Why isn't it in here?
That's not right.
It's irrelevant. In other words, when the Gemara says that, look, there's certain things you shouldn't think about. One of them is what's before the world. Okay, so now here we are talking about Tohu va-Vohu. That's not before the world. That is the world.
Yeah,
So therefore,
it still is.
well, you're saying a mouthful here. Tohu va-Vohu is so like this. The Gemara says in Shabbos Peiches. Let's understand for a minute deeply. Kaf aleim har kagigas. Hashem held the Torah over the head of the Jewish people, and He said, "Im tekablu mutav, im lav achsir zoelam le tohu va-Vohu." So what does that mean? Not that you're going to get 0 or minus 0, as you put it. You're going to get Tohu va-Vohu.
That makes it again to do.
Yeah, you're back to glob. You're back to chaos.
Square one.
Square one. Let's use this idea of Hirsch, so beautiful. You're back to chaos. Think about it. If there's no Torah, if there's no tikkun, so what do you have? Chaos.
What's the
Just look
purpose?
at the world.
What's the purpose?
The Gemara says, let's pull this up, let me see if I can quickly find it. The Gemara says in Avodah Zarah as follows.
Tohu va-Vohu like a retainer.
I mean, you're asking why did Hashem do it? I don't know. I mean, let's just see. But the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah,
I'm sure this question, was there any purpose to just Tohu va-Vohu on its own?
why not?
Was it,
Is there any purpose to Yom Rishon without Yom Sheni?
no, was there anything, when there was just Tohu va-Vohu, that state?
I'm asking you, was there any purpose with day 1 without day 2?
Because
Or day
Ta'alih,
5 without man?
Yeah, because Ta'alih.
Talih.
But Tohu va-Vohu was a state before that, because Baruch Hu
Not before. It's the beginning state. Because it helps us understand what the world is made out of. You see, let me just say this. Tohu va-Vohu, on one side of the spectrum, Gan Eden and Mashiach on the opposite side of the spectrum. Can you absorb that? Tohu va-Vohu is where the whole thing begins. The exact opposite of that is Gan Eden and Geula.
The most raw and undefined versus the most...
The most chaotic to the most matukan. Or the what in the Lashon of Kabbalah, the whole purpose of Mashiach is to come back to Gan Eden state, not to Gan Eden literally, but to the state of Gan Eden, which is the Olam HaTikkun, before we sinned, before Adam sinned. Tikkun. What does Tikkun mean? The ultimate development and twicklement of the world. No good. So this comes from the days of using 35mm film. I'm tickled at 35.
Merriam-Webster would say about that.
So what we're talking, you understand what we're saying? In other words, Tohu va-Vohu is where it starts, Gan Eden is where it ends. Look at the Chumash. That's how the Chumash works, right? And in order to have Gan Eden, there's Gan Eden. Then what's even better than Gan Eden? What's the next step?
Mashiach.
Adam. Adam. Vayasem es Adam began Eden. Perfect until we mess up. It's perfect. What's going to happen when Mashiach comes? Gan Eden. What happens when we go to Shemayim? Gan Eden. What happens in between? Starting from chaos, different degrees of chaos. That's what we're talking about when we talk about Tohu va-Vohu. So, if you're going to be Makabel the Torah, says the Gemara, is a Gemara. We're talking about a Zohar, the Gemara. If Tekabel is HaTorah mutav. Why? Because it's not good enough just to have Gan Eden and just to have man. You have to have rules. You have to have, if you want to know, you need the instruction manual.
What to do then?
What are you going to do here, right? What are you going to do here in this world? So, Tekabel is HaTorah, what are you doing? From the simple thing of wearing tzitzis to the deepest Kabbalistic things. Tekabel is HaTorah mutav. We're moving along here, we're progressing, we're doing well. V'iblav, and if you're not going to be Makabel the Torah, not just sham tehek for us, that's one thing it says in the Gemara. Reish Lakish, achsir sa'olam l'tohu va-Vohu. I will create the world back to Tohu va-Vohu. Does that mean nihilo? No. So what's going to happen? We're back to a chaotic state, but we're after the Ma'aseh Bereishis, not before the Ma'aseh Bereishis. Think about this. What happens if the table goes back with Tohu va-Vohu? I don't know, but it doesn't just disappear.
Jumble or something.
Some kind of a chaos. Because what we see is so defined, like it's so clear. We've taken molecules, we've taken raw materials, and we've created a world here. And Hashem has created a world out of it. Beautiful. And we could keep on going. We could take eights and make a bias. Right? We could take even plastic, which is like an unbelievable, like what is that? We could take plastic and it can hold water. It's hafla v'fela. What we're able to do, yesh, miyesh, to the ultimate development. We could take a human being, which is flesh and blood, and a bunch of kilos of fat and bones, and we could create such a navi. A navi. You can create a navi from this thing. You can create Ruach HaKodesh. It's hafla v'fela, but that's where you. But if that's what Torah. So if you're Makabel Torah, good. If not, Achsir Sa'olam L'Tohu va-Vohu. The Gemara says here that the Goyim Uma Sa'olam Oibdei Kechavim were complaining on Daf Gimel and Avodah Zarah. The Gemara says, Oimer Moivdei Kechavim Lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ribono Shel Olam Yisrael Shekibluha. It's very nice that Klal Yisrael was Makabel Torah, very nice. But Heichen Kimuha, where we Makayim the Torah, like, in other words, the Goyim now are feeling gypped, this is the context of the Gemara, over the fact that they weren't given a fair chance to, and when they get to Olam Haba, they realize that we're busy with our houses and our cars and our roads and our wars and our women, and okay, so you did nothing. So Klal Yisrael, they did something. So okay, they were Makabel the Torah. So the Goyim say, well, you didn't offer us the Torah. So he said, I did offer you the Torah. So now they ask the hard question. Yisrael shekibluha heichan kiyamuha. That's a painful question. Where were we Makayim the Torah? Okay. Omer lahen HaKadosh Baruch Hu, ani meyed bi Yisrael shekimu es HaTorah kula. I'm meyed that Klal Yisrael is Makayim the whole Torah. Will, kimu. Will is. Omer lefanav Ribono Shel Olam. So the Goyim say back, no. Klum yesh av shemeyed al b'nai. You're totally puzzleatus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. D'chsiv b'ni b'chayri Yisrael. You call Klal Yisrael children. Amar lana HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I'm asking. Like a beautiful love that Hashem has. for Klal Yisrael that I'm puzzleated. You're right. I'm mamish puzzleated. But Amar Lahan Yavo Shamayim Va'aretz V'Ya'idu Behem B'Yisrael Shkimus Torah. I have two other Eidim. Let's bring the Shamayim Va'aretz. How is the Shamayim Va'aretz Eidus? Because if the very fact that the Shamayim Va'aretz exists,
Otherwise, we're going to come back to TorahLab.
right, the very fact that the Shamayim Va'aretz exists is a raya that somebody's doing something right here. There must be hope for the Bria. Klal Yisrael must be keeping the Torah on some level. Kola Torah Kula. I don't know if that means that there was one moment in history or all collectively, but somehow or another something must be right because there's a Shamayim Va'aretz. So here's Eidos that the Klal Yisrael's keeping the Torah.
One second, because you weren't destroyed when I offered to destroy Klal Yisrael, you still that the Shamayim Va'aretz still exists.
That's the way I'm understanding this Gemara.
Because it's not based on the original Bereshit, because there was no yet.
Hashem said it's nigh, right? Hashem said it's nigh in the Ma'aser Bereshis, the Gemara in Shabbos Peiches. That's the way to understand this Gemara, like a London. That Hashem said it's nigh in Shabbos Peiches, that im lav achzer azoylam l'toyu va-Vohu, and it didn't happen. Mashma that we were makabel and that we were makayim. So the Shamayim Va'aretz now becomes perfect testimony that we're doing something right. So comes the Hamdisha Goyim, and they say, Ipcha Mustavra. B'diyuk farkert. There's Eilacha Nageya Be'edus Gadol Mizu. We want to be here. We're Shamayim Va'aretz. Does anybody want to die? No. So what? Shamayim Va'aretz, we're not suicidal. So obviously, we're going to whitewash the fact that Klal Yisrael has assimilated, and Klal Yisrael has worshipped Avodah Zarah, and Klal Yisrael has Sinas China. We're going to whitewash that. They are the Shamayim Va'aretz, because the minute that they will admit that Klal Yisrael is not doing the Torah, we're back to Tohu va-Vohu. So, Ein l'cha nogeya be'edus gadol mizu. So this is their lashon. Oimrim, the goyim say, Ribono shel olam, av shamayim va'aretz noigin be'edusan. Why? Shenamar im loy vrisi yomam v'layla. By the way, I always hear people say that pasuk, im loy barisi. It's a Amarantzis, don't do that. Im loy vrisi, lashon bris. Im loy vrisi yomam v'layla chukay shamayim va'aretz loy samti. To Amar Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Here's the lashon of Rav Shimon ben Lakish explaining the pasuk. Mai d'chsiv. It says in the Torah, Vayihera vayiboker yom hashishi. The Gemara. Malamed. What's the kasha? Hey. Because it says yom sheni, yom shlishi, yom revi, yom chamishi, yom hashishi. Right. So why? The kiddush should be Yom Shishi. What's Yom Hashishi? So Rish Lakish darshan this hay, because there's like a hay Chukay Shemayim Behi Baram, big hay. So there's a big hay. What's the hay? Melamed shehisna Kadosh Baruch Hu im Ma'aser Bereshis. Says Rish Lakish that Kadosh Baruch Hu made a t'nai with the Ma'aser Bereshis. Amar Lohem. This is talking about at the Bria already. Amar Lahem im Yisrael makabel masatara. Look at the future. The ultimate tikkun is going to be the Torah, and Klal Yisrael keeping the Torah. Otherwise, you're going to have wars, you're going to have destruction, you're going to have hate. It's not going to work. So Klal Yisrael has to be makabel the Torah. So if they're going to be makabel the Torah, then this that I created you makes some sense here. Im Yisrael makabel masatara muta. B'seder. V'im lav hareini machzer eschem le Tohu va-Vohu. If not, I will return you to Tohu va-Vohu, not to some pre-creative state. This is really what I want to bring out here. Not to some pre-creative state, but to a state of Tohu va-Vohu. Let's back to square one. Back to the fact where the Elokim begins.
So it means he can't make everything disappear, or
Well,
or he won't.
I presume he can do whatever he wants to do, but he doesn't.
He doesn't.
This is not a condition. The condition is that back to Tohu va-Vohu, guys. You see, the Kabbalim tell us that what Klal Yisrael Le'olenu is not doing the Ratzon Hashem, so we get a Tohu va-Vohu state. Temporary. Goals. You know that, back to the Chumash, Va'aretz haisa tohu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei Chaim. Chaim, what is the Gemara Darshan? Arba Golias. One is Bavel, one is Yavan, one is Edom, Paras. What are those? They are a kiyum. What are those? The Edom Kashem Mikulam, where we are now. Edom Kashem Mikulam. What are those? That's Tohu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei Chaim. Big Tohu. The Edom is Kashem Mikulam because it goes back to Tohu.
It's Kollel.
Yeah, but it's particularly
Goes Edom.
Tohu, like Gavaldik Tohu. It's like a, so what, Makesher the Goliath over here? The answer is that it's the Goliath and the Malchios are hepech the Tikkun. The Tikkun is Gan Eden, Mashiach, Lo Yisa Goy El Goy Cherev. The Goliath is Tohu va-Vohu v'choshech. We're back to chaos. Just think about the presidential election in the United States.
So the new starting point is Tohu.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's where.
That's right.
that's
Control, Alt, Delete. The computer doesn't disappear, and the programs don't disappear. But gosh, we messed up, and it's all tangled up, and it's all messed up, and it's all chaotic. Control, Alt, Delete.
But you said that Elohim is the constant, infusion of existence. So why even need that stage of Tohu va-Vohu? It seems like I'm making Tohu va-Vohu exist, and then I'm just going back again to zero, step zero, and going right now into the existence of a human being.
Look, from the Tohu va-Vohu is the clay that everything has to be created out of. Who has to create it? The Elohim, Tzelem Elohim. So if we're creating a world, if we're creating a tikkun out of this Tohu va-Vohu material, but it's not nothing. Nothing is for Hashem. It's something. It's all yesh miyesh, but it's the most base, most chaotic, most confusing, most dark, the darkest. V'choshech al pnei yom. You see, this is what we say. We say, Baruch atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, Yotzer or Uvorei choshech. Daika. Yotzer or Yitzira. Is that Silas? Bria, Yitzira. Oseh Shalom. Asiya. In reverse order. Shalom, if we have Shalom in the world, that's a Gan Eden stage. It's a Mashiach stage. Let's go drive, take a picnic in Saudi Arabia. A state of Shalom. Without losing our heads here. So Shalom is Shleimus, Shalem. That's the world of Asiya when it comes to its tikkun. Above that is Or, the first pasuk in the Torah, the first bria of the Torah. From Tohu va-Vohu, Hashem said, Yehi Or. By Yehi Or. So Yehi Or. What's the Chiddush? Obviously Hashem said Yehi Or by Yehi Or. The Chiddush is like this. The Chiddush is that, as we explained many times here, that Or unto itself has no mashmos. Listen, Reb David, Or has to reflect on something. So you need the Tohu va-Vohu. You need the Tohu va-Vohu. You need the receptor. You need the makabel. You need the nukva in Kabbalistic language before you can get the duchra to do anything. So to put it in terms that we can understand, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu needed to create the world in order for his or pashut to have any mashmos at all. What's the use, in a way, of an infinite or if there isn't something to receive it? What's the point? What's the point of having electricity in the walls if you don't have any appliance which is going to be using it? If you don't have any lights, if you don't have any motors, if you don't have a refrigerator, what's the point? So it's a use. There was always electricity in the Bria, always. It was discovered, maybe by Thomas Edison.
Frank. Frank.
Then Frank.
Not Frank.
Okay. So,
What Edison? Light bulb. So who was
Hasn't figured out how to use it, electricity.
Tachlis?
Yeah.
Tachlis. So in other words, right, that's my point. In other words, like, what's the point? There's always electricity. So the fact that Hashem has an or pashut and the whole Kabbalistic thing about Hashem's or pashut and making a cholol and going into the tzimtzum, yafeh, a nice story. So the story, the first 5 pages of the Eitz Chaim and the Arizal. But the point is, that's all the preface to Breishis Bara Elokim. It's not really nogay, it's just a good story. What's nogay is from the world of Bria, Breishis Bara Elokim, Yotzer Or, and then up Bara Choshech. So Tohu va-Vohu v'Choshech al pnei Tohom. Right? So the Bria, Atzilus, Bria is Tohu va-Vohu, Choshech, confusion, mixture, nothing is sorted out, everything is a mess. There's war, there's killing. Yotzer Or. Then we get to Or, where Vayhi Or. Whoa, let's put some Or here. But ultimately, we need to get to the world of Asiya, says Hashem, which is Osa Shalom. Let's leave the next Borei out because that's going back to Choshech. Borei Ra, as the pasuk says. But the Asiya is Shalom. So you have, again, Choshech on one side of the spectrum, and on the opposite side of the spectrum you have Shalom. So Shalom is the opposite of Tohu va-Vohu. Golus is the opposite of Shalom. Shalom mitzad echad, Tohu va-Vohu mitzad sheni. So, totally not doing justice to a very important subject, but let me just say this in Kabbalistic language. There was the Shvira, like the Shvira and the Tikkun. Those are the basic 2 stages that the Mekubalim talk about. There's an infinite world, Ein Sof. There was some kind of a Shvira, Tohu va-Vohu. Tikkun is now let's make the world into something. The furthest that anybody's going to go back is Tohu va-Vohu. So let's go back to the original question. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu is misalik his koach, Elokim, all this is Elokim. First time, to my knowledge, that Elokim was used in the Bria.
The Tohu va-Vohu is also a look.
Dachon. So when something is going to go back to Tohu va-Vohu, meaning we don't go past Elokim. What's beyond that? Who knows? But Breishis Bara Elokim, Selam Elokim, this is where our little world is over here. That might include, by the way, Mars and Jupiter. I'm not saying it's unique to Beit Shemesh or Monsey or something. What I'm saying is that the world as we know it, the Bria as we know it, starts with Elokim, starts with Tohu va-Vohu. So if now HaKadosh Baruch Hu is misalik his koach Elokim from the table, what happens to the table, Darn? Tohu va-Vohu.
You're saying that Hashem created the concept of Elohim?
Well, that's one of the I don't know who created it. I mean, but that's one of the expressions. Okay, one of the manifestations of Elokus is Elokim, where it can come to gematria hateva. So the hateva that we're seeing over here, if Hashem would chas v'shalom be masalik his koach, meaning masalik the Elokim from the table, or from people, or from the world, so then what you get is Tohu va-Vohu. You see, I'm not even sure of this. Let me just say this in closing, and then we'll just recap the Nefesh Hachaim. Like, let's. I'm not sure if I'm right. I'm not sure if I'm right. But let's talk about a world for a moment which is totally not animated. Nobody's alive. No plants are growing.
Movie set.
It's dead. Like a picture projected on the wall. It's okay. It could be a movie set, a painting, a picture, but it's not alive. So that let's call that for a moment the first stage of the pre-animated world. Until Hashem said Yehi Or, poof. Until Hashem said Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chaim. See, what happens like when we die is the lights go out. So now what are we left with? In a sense, it's Tohu va-Vohu. Because there's no mind to clarify any longer. The body is not working and sorting everything out. Nothing is happening. So when the goof is animated, so that's the bria. That's the bria. When plants all of a sudden start to grow. So just imagine and just meditate on this for a moment. A dead world, completely dead. V'ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim. And the ruach Elokim, Shem Elokim, which gives chiyus to every single thing, gives chiyus. The water starts to move, the plants start to grow, the animals get up and start to run around. The ecosystem is created. The sun starts to move this way and move that way, and the whole solar system is happening. And then comes man, and man starts to talk. Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chaim, and then the Torah is given, and that's the animation of the world, the tikkun of the world, which starts from Tohu va-Vohu. And that's our function, that's our job in terms of continuing the process of Tzelem Elokim. We even have the uniform to continue the process of Tzelem Elokim, to get from Tohu va-Vohu all the way up to the ultimate tikkun, which is the Geula, the Mashiach. Along the way, Tohu va-Vohu v'choshech al pnei tohaim. Understand what those are. Understand what the Toichachosh of the Mishnah Torah are. Understand what the Klolos are and the Aruros are. Those are all holes and gaps in the tikkun. You're getting a glimpse of the Shavira. You're getting a glimpse of Tohu va-Vohu. When you watch a movie about the Holocaust, you're getting a picture of Tohu va-Vohu, where man goes crazy and there's death and there's killing and there's where nothing is it's a nightmare. So it's not a nightmare is not in the Gashmius. A nightmare is in the world of Tohu va-Vohu. And then there's the movie about peace, about Shalom, about Mashiach, there's that movie. That's the Olam HaTikkun. We haven't seen that either. But that's where we're meant to be aiming for. L'sakein olam b'malchus shakai v'chol bnei vaser yikru b'shmecha, that there'll be the or, Yehi Or, that the lights will go on and will be completely animated in Masukah. So when the Nefesh Hachaim, or Pinchas is going from here to America, so I just want to leave you with this idea. Let's just read the last couple of lines here. That he says, V'zeu shenikrahu yisbarach shmai ha'elokim bal ha'koyches kulam. This is what we mean. Shekol koyach prati animsa b'chol ha'olamas. Every single koach, every drop of, let's call it now, animation. All the animation that exists in this world, or in all worlds, hakol hu yisbarach shmai habal koyach shelahem. Meaning, Chaim, to answer your question, meaning the higher shemos, Atzilus is powering Bria. Powered by Atzilus. And that's why it's the Baal HaKoiches Kulam. Elokim is Koiches. Baal HaKoiches is all being Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, all being powered by Atzilus. That's the way it works.
Is this the Baal Shepa?
Same thing. Baal. Hakol Yisparach Shmai Habal Koyach Shelahem. Shemashpia Behem HaKoyach Ugvura Korega utluyim b'yadei tamid l'shanoisam u'lesadram kirtzayna yisparach. Now here's the diuk, the final diuk. He doesn't say that it's b'yadei or that he's going to make it go back to puf, as we learned here at the beginning. I could be masader this differently. Let's try it again. Take two. Right? Meaning, this didn't work. Let's try it again. Doesn't the Zohar say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made and created the world a couple thousand times before he got to this one? I guess we're okay. But the thing is that there's a lot of possibilities for the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs a world for whatever reason. So he puts the Elokim here, and here we are. Here we are, close to the Tikkun, I hope. But here we are. The last Gemara is this. The last Gemara is that the Gemara says that Avodah Zarah 2 pages later. The Gemara says that the world will last 6,000 years. The world that we know. 2,000 years Tohu va-Vohu. 2,000 years Torah. 2,000 years Yemais HaMashiach. Now, 2,000 years Tohu va-Vohu. Tohu va-Vohu ended on day one. Why are you telling us that the world was 2,000 years Tohu va-Vohu? But we would finish Tohu va-Vohu as soon as he said Yihiyar. The answer is there's still Tohu va-Vohu until there's Torah. And the Torah itself, in the year 2000, when Avram Avinu was born and started to teach, Avram Avinu was born in 1948, right? And when he was 52 years old, started the years of Torah. So until Avram Avinu matured from the Brias Olam, it was all Tohu va-Vohu. Because it was animated, but it was not animated. Yes, the plants were growing. Yes, the people were walking around, but they were also still killing people. And we were davening a little bit. Terem, Yitzmach. We davened, we brought karbonos, we also messed up, we also made a mapul. mess. Until Avram Avinu came along, it was Tohu va-Vohu. On some level, it was Tohu va-Vohu, because Tohu va-Vohu is also a spectrum. That's also a spectrum. And that spectrum, we started a new phase with Avram Avinu. Now, are you going to be Makabel the Torah in 3,300 or whatever it was? The answer is, look, we could go back to the stage of Tohu va-Vohu. We could try it again. Are you going to be Makabel the Torah? And when Mashiach comes, 2,000 years, you might have Mashiach, ultimate tikkun, going further and further and further back to the Gan Eden spectrum. But Tohu va-Vohu is a 2,000-year thing. We were Tohu va-Vohu. Until there was Avram Avinu, there was Tohu va-Vohu. So that's what's important to understand, that when the world will go back to Tohu va-Vohu, it means to say that it'll go back to that time. We'll become cavemen. That's what it really means. Or dead. We don't know what part of Tohu va-Vohu. Important thing is, what's our job in this world as Tzelem Elokim? To get out of Tohu va-Vohu and to get to Tikkun. That's our job. Tzelem Elokim, as Hashem gave us this koach to drive the Tikkun. And if we're not doing that, then we're living a life of Tohu va-Vohu. As the Chazon Ish says, that if you're not living a life with Torah, Hu hakiyum shel Tohu va-Vohu. Igros Chazon Ish Gimel. Hu hakiyum shel Tohu va-Vohu. That's Tohu va-Vohu. If you're not doing anything. Just here of existing. It's just Tohu va-Vohu. Because, go be a caveman. Be a prehistoric person. There's no
purpose.
No purpose to it if you're not going to do anything. Tzelem Elokim is the opposite of Tohu va-Vohu.
What's Yesh Ma'ayin there? Does that mean Yesh Tohu va-Vohu or Yesh pre-Tohu va-Vohu?
Yesh Ma'ayin is pasuk -1. It's not gracious.
It's not Tohu va-Vohu or is
No.
Yesh
No, not according to the Zohar. Why does he say Ayin?
If Tohu is already Yesh, then if Hashem is Masalik is Koach, how can it go back to Yesh and go back to when there's no...
He doesn't want us to go back to nothing. He wants us to go back to Tohu.
But when he's Masalik is Koach.
But the thing is that the Mefarshim that say that Yesh, that Ayin is Tohu, Ayin v'Efes is Tohu va-Vohu, is possibly not correct.
You say that Ayin is Tohu after Elokim.
Well, Frankel brings it from a whole bunch of them. It's probably not correct. Right? Ayin is a previous state.
Why isn't Ayin Tohu? Kadosh Baruch Hu, Elokim brings it all to the physical state, creates all the physical.
Look,
the world we have.
Efes, 0 is already on the. I think I'm not a mathematician, but I think 0 is already on the numbers. It's not infinity. 0 is not infinite.
Right,
If you,
right,
if you
right,
fall,
right, right.
like in other words, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 0, and then if you fall off that, there's no end. But 0 is already a starting point. So I don't know if ayin means Tohu. If ayin means Tohu, that's fine. But then that's not ex nihilo.
Why isn't Tohu the physical stuff of ayin?
Yeah.
So when Elokim starts,
Well,
Bereshit bar
Tohu,
Elokim,
va-Vohu.
so that's where he takes the ayin and makes it into Tohu.
Seder.
And
Right.
so-
He takes the ayin and he makes it into Tohu. But we're not privy to that. That doesn't say it in the Chumash.
Right, but as long as there's an Elokim,
We're already
as long as there's an
Bereshit
Elokim Kaviyachal,
Right.
then there's going to be a
We're already at the
Tohu.
level of bara and Elokim. We're already in the world of Bria. What's going on in Atzilus, we don't. Have a good trip.
Thanks for that.